Bluntschli once said, "A dog teaches a boy fidelity, perseverance, and to turn around 3 times before lying down." This morning, I'm going to highlight for you the 4 major benefits of child pet ownership. As an avid pet parent, I know the benefits of me and my siblings of owning not just a pet, but numerous pets. If you're like me, as a child, you beg for a pet, and if you're a parent, I'm sure your little ones are begging for a pet or will be soon. I'm going to explain to you the 4 major benefits, which are: owning a pet as a child can heighten social skills, boost self-esteem and self-confidence, provide companionship, and lower a child's susceptibility to allergies. To begin, owning a pet as a child helps children develop social skills. Psychologist Dr. Sue Joycer once said, "Having a pet improves children's role-taking skills because they have to put themselves in the pet's position and try to feel how the pet feels. And that transfers to how other kids feel. This development of empathy towards pets helps children know how others children feel, so they know what's right and wrong with their peers." The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry also reports that positive relationships with pets can aid in the development of trusting with others. This relationship with pets can then act as a stepping stone to developing relationships with others. But for the children who have a harder time socializing than most, pets can provide more than adequate companionship.
Child is a great way to teach responsibility. Children learn to think about someone other than themselves when they nurture and care for an animal.
Shy children who are reluctant to talk to family members will find a friend in a family pet. Birds, cats, and dogs tend to make children feel less isolated, while children that grow up with pets tend to be more extroverted and have more friends.
Nancy Keller's son Joseph was diagnosed with a learning disability. He was having trouble in school and had a hard time dealing with his anger. That's when Nancy decided to get a family dog.
His teacher noticed immediately that there was a change in his disposition as far as not being angry anymore.
Joseph's grades improved and he got along better with his peers.
Every time I would come home and I would just think about that problem, and then he'd come running and then he would cheer me up.
The boy in this video has a learning disability that makes it hard for him to make friends and socialize. My brother has a similar learning disability. My brother Anthony had very little friends, and he would often come upset by things that would occur at school. He felt isolated and lonely, and he didn't have friends, and he couldn't talk to anybody at school because of his learning disability. He felt different. So one day my parents got him a dog, Tiger the dog, gave Anthony the companionship that he lacked, and gave him the figurative shoulder to cry on. Anthony would come home to Tiger, and they would lie together doing homework, or they'd take afternoon naps. And with Tiger by his side, Anthony didn't felt alone and struggling with school. And research reported at vetclick.com shows that teachers have also found therapeutic benefits for children with special needs. Animals provide a calming effect on children, particularly those with behavioral or learning disabilities. They also help to improve behavior and concentration and reduce a child's stress. Animals in the classroom encourage expression and participation in more withdrawn children. They also help in working with vulnerable children and bring educational improvements in low achievers. In addition to the obvious companionship that pets give, they also provide a boost in self-esteem and overall self-confidence. According to AnimalFriends.com, children who own a pet tend to have higher self-esteem and lower anxiety levels compared to children who don't own pets. AnimalFriends.org goes on to say that children feel good about themselves because they are helping another living creature. When a child bonds with a pet and takes care of its well-being, they become proud of themselves and they feel good about their accomplishments. When a child takes care of a pet, they feel like, I'm actually taking care of a living being, I can do it, I have the self-confidence, and they believe that they can do other things as well. In addition to a child's mental health, helping a child's physical health as well. Having a pet, when a child has a pet or has regular interactions with pets, they tend to lower their susceptibility to allergies. On parenting.com, Dennis Ownby, MD and pediatrician and head of Allergy and Immunology Department of the Medical College of Georgia, reported that having multiple pets actually decreases a child's risk of developing certain allergies. Dr. Ownby tracked 474 babies from birth to age 7 and found that the children who were exposed to 2 or more dogs or cats as babies were less than half as likely to develop common allergies as kids who had no pets in the home. The allergens included the obvious pet allergens, but also included dust mite allergens and allergens to ragweed and grass. Dr. Ownby explains his theory as, when a child raises a dog or cat, the animal usually licks them. That lick transfers bacteria that live in the animal's mouth, and the exposure to the bacteria may change the way a child's immune system responds to other allergens. Parenting.com also suggests that an early exposure to pet hay also decreases a child's risk of developing asthma. It's obvious that pets are great companions and they do offer love, but it's great to know that we can get a boost in self-esteem, a great companion that can lower their susceptibility to allergies, possibly asthma, and they help to develop their social skills. It's great to know that pets not only provide this for your children, but much more.
So, Dwayne, what did you think?
Well, I think it was pretty good overall. She had a good structure. There was a attention grabber, and the thesis was clear, and she gave us the preview of what she was going to talk about. I think the visual aid was fine. It wasn't too long. And only thing I would say will probably be in the delivery, her movements during the delivery. But other than that, I think it was good.
All right. There's several things that I liked a lot. I like the quote at the beginning, but you need to project a little bit. I think, a lot of people don't get the impact of what you're saying, don't appreciate the sentiment that's there because you're delivering it in such a low-key way. So that, like I said, that'll be something that we'll work on next time, but I think I hate it because I really like the quote that you used, and I think you'd have gotten so much more out of it. The topic is very clearly identified. You have a very clear thesis statement and purpose where you're going. There's an excellent preview. It's well organized. It's topical in nature, but you set up what the topics were going to be at the beginning, which is helpful because I didn't think you did the transitions very clearly for points. The first one you identified, there's a signpost on it, but moving from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3 is like, the only reason I knew that you were in a different section was because you had that preview, and I remembered your saying that those were the points that you were going to get to. On the other hand, when you watch this back, which I hope you will do, when you move from point number 3 to point number 4, you had a really good transition that said, okay, now that you kind of understand these things, let's talk about this other thing here, that this is this other issue. You don't have to use a number there because you already set it up at the beginning, but there's a good clear signpost on that, and that's sort of what you want to do. So watch that and see what it is that I'm talking about. The visuals, to be honest, I didn't think that the video clip added anything. It's mostly talking heads with a couple of images in the background. The story about the kid is okay, but I thought the story about your brother was a lot more interesting, and I think instead of the video clip, I'd have preferred to see a picture of your brother and his dog, and that would have made it a little bit more involving, too. I think you need to try and find a couple of other things on some of the other points because it's all isolated in that one spot in the speech, and it doesn't really feel like it's integrated in the speech. You used it. It wasn't a big problem. It's a part of the speech, but it's not adding that much to the presentation. All right. Thank you.